actually going to mean a loss of jobs, and you want to do this because you don't have a job. The question is, what are we doing to try and help you get a job? Because this is not going to create one single job. It will not. We all want a strong economy. We all want people working. We do. But this will not create a job. This will lead to people losing their jobs. Not just public employees, but bartenders will lose a job over this. People who own small businesses will have to start laying off because they can't afford someone who's making, $8 or $10 an hour in their shop right now, because a public employee who used to come in and spend money isn't anymore. So this is actually going to lead to job loss. The governor talks about creating 250,000 jobs. We don't have 250,000 people out of work right now in Wisconsin, but if he keeps going, we will. So, we're down in Illinois, and we're trying to get a resolution over this. We're trying to get a resolution over this. There's two ways this was going to break. Either they would say, okay, fine, we will remove the collective bargaining language and make the changes to senior care and badger care, and the budget's balanced. There's no doubt about that. It was balanced, before we left, I think. So once he had the money, this is one thing that really bothered me, just so you know. He never once, he being the governor, never once publicly acknowledged that the public employees agree to every single penny. Right. It was going to break the way it was, and that was to take the, quote, non-fiscal items, unquote, out of the budget repair bill and pass it individually, which is something we actually suggested all along, which was something we would love to come back and debate, absolutely, because we knew if they did, they probably would not have the votes to pass it that way. So what they ended up doing was one of our suggestions early on. So we ended up coming back, and now it's in court, as you know, and it's a liberal Dane County judge who, I think if you put it in just about any other court in this state, if you base it on the open meetings laws, they violated the open meetings laws. So what they can do right now, if they choose to do, is call us back into special session. And we're not going to go anywhere, but they haven't called us back. And they haven't called us back for two reasons. Either they don't want to put Glenn and others through that vote again, or they don't have the votes anymore. It's one of those two reasons. So keep an eye on the biennial budget, which we're dealing with right now. And they may end up sticking in that later on in the process and passing it pretty quickly. So that's something, obviously, we're all going to be keeping an eye on. But the bigger picture is this. What you are doing here today is helping somebody who you will never probably meet. Somebody who doesn't have the opportunity to get out and get signatures, even though he or she is going to be dramatically affected by what the governor wants to do. What you're doing is helping someone on Badger Care who is in a wheelchair right now, who cannot even begin to get out the door without help. And somebody who's probably going to lose that help, coming in their home, helping with a bath, getting them bed, and getting them out to their job, because they do have jobs. You'll never meet them, but you're having a great, huge impact on their life right now by doing what you're doing. There's no doubt that we as a state are in a place right now where I don't think we've ever been before. I just don't think we have. We won the Super Bowl, apparently. And that lasted for about 2 seconds, and then we had the buzzkill come in. The governor was elected to govern by compromise, which they all do, was to govern by the majority of the people whenever possible. It wasn't one of these things where it was like, okay, I'm governor now, and I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to listen to anybody else. Somebody once asked me, how did Governor Walker come up with this idea so fast? And the answer is really simple. He didn't. He didn't. If you take a look at this, and how it's been set up, and the corporations who have registered here in the state of Wisconsin, the private prison industries, the private school corporations, the private corporations who handle health and human service programs for counties, cities, and villages, and states. They've all hired lobbyists. There are more lobbyists than Koch brothers. I think you have 7 right now. And sure, that's job creation, but I'm not certain it's the kind of job we want to go after right now. But it's really simple. Do we want to be part of a hostile corporate takeover of the state of Wisconsin or not? I do not. I do not. I want my kids taught by public school teachers paid for by my property taxes. I want my kids, when they go off to tech school or college, to be taught by public employees who are held accountable to me. I want my roads to be plowed by the public employees who do right now. Because if they're not, and I have to pick up the phone, and there's a problem or a pothole in my road, I don't want to have to go through some sort of corporate maze to hold somebody accountable. This is all of our money. And the second we start contracting out, we lose accountability, number one. And number two, it's going to cost us so much more money down the line. Yeah. So much more money. Certainly at a crossroads in the history of our state, and I never expected to be here. None of us I expected to be here if you look back a couple of months. But here we are Friday night in West Bend. And we're here because we care. And those folks holding Glenn signs are here because they care too. We're at a debate, but we have to focus on the issues. And focus on the issues at hand. I've always thought if you take every single penny out of politics, if you take all of the independent expenditures and you issue advocacy groups out of politics and take every single dime away and let someone stand up on a street corner and tell you what they believe in and what they will do, I gotta believe when we talk specifically about the issues, the majority of the people are with us on the issues. Right. Which is why we have to keep it. The one thing I'm going to say about Glenn personally is something I've said to his face before. I've known Glenn for a long time. We've done a lot of back and forth on media, roundtable things on the radio and on TV. And I've told him, Glenn isn't a closed horse. He's not a snappy dresser. He would typically could be considered a slob by some people. So what I thought the funniest thing out of all of this was for Glenn Grothman to call them slobs. Not that Glenn is, but my God, Glenn. You know, I can tell you for a fact that the people who were showing up at the Capitol were very real. Very real. They picked up after themselves better than I pick up after myself at the Capitol. There wasn't $7.5 million worth of damage. I can tell you the Capitol is in beautiful condition. The lawn needs some work. But then again, don't call our lawns. We could work. Gus could give us some advice on The reason why I'm telling you this is more than 1 million people came in and out of Madison over the course of that 3.5 weeks, and there wasn't one arrest. There wasn't. Nobody was hurt. But in the end, what you're doing matters. Whether you win, lose, or draw, what you're doing matters. And you are part of a debate. We all have a general idea here tonight which way we want our state to go. And we have to make sure we stay on that path. And for those people who disagree with us, let's not debate them. Let's just ask them to do one thing. Read the legislation. Just read it. That's all they need to do.